So you're about one number slower than I am. Did it come across that you were right on, or faster or slower?
No, I was saying the number is right when I was hearing you say them.
Okay, so you're about one number behind. Try it the other direction. This time I'll follow you. When you say it, I'll say it.
10,
10,
9,
9,
8,
8,
7,
7,
6,
6,
5,
5,
4,
4,
3,
3,
2,
2,
1.
1.
Yeah.
Start. Okay. See, I was saying it after the 10. I was saying it right in when you said it to me. I said it to you. So we got a 1 second. Don't sing a song together. They tried that. There was a church group. They tried that. It was hilarious. So now they turn
Well,
off everybody.
it it took some caressing, but I finally was able to get the stream going. Uh, I actually had to install another browser to get it to work because even removing hardware acceleration did not solve the problem for me, so I had to go to Chrome.
Okay.
I had to install the Chrome browser, which I do like Chrome. But yeah, I have
Okay.
my Streamlabs All Star shirt on this time.
What kind of character is that? Kind of look like a duck in a helmet. I don't know.
Well,
Rabbit?
it's actually a message window with glasses, a headset, various designs around it, and it says Streamlabs on it because that's the
Okay.
platform I use for, well, the encoder I use for my streaming generally. Now, sometimes I would go to other proprietary streaming, like Elgato has their own encoder, and it does direct streaming, and so does Nvidia. They have one that's actually built into the video card. That sometimes while I'm playing a game, I will use that.
I guess it's background. I don't know. You doing that on purpose?
What, moving the camera or moving the table actually?
I heard background music.
Oh, there's no background music. You may be hearing the sounds from the hallway. I can't control that because this is a
Why is this
two
iPhone
person
making the
room.
noise?
But as for the first topic that we have today, and that is for the Lifewave 360 patch. You can also see the reflection of what I'm seeing on the screen with it a little bit better than with my glasses. And so the patch, as mentioned before, it has a dual back adhesive, which means that each of the patches, which I've never, well, I can't say never, I've only clearly shown it once. And the whole purpose of the live stream, because this was actually a topic during an after meeting, that there's no uh but what did you call it, Robert? Script? That there's
Oh,
no that we're not following a script?
we're
That,
being genuine.
well, genuine wasn't really
From
the topic. Following a script,
from the heart.
following a script is not being genuine. It's just following guidelines.
Yeah. I also said that keywords should be mentioned because that's what's important.
Yeah, like
X39.
yeah, like Lifewave X39. So I'm going to try to keep this patch in the view of the camera as I bring it down and show you the screen of my phone, and also the breakfast tray, which I have yet to partake in.
You haven't had breakfast yet?
No, not yet.
You know, you're like in
And so,
Hawaii time or something.
and so here's the belly button below the.
Oh, that's good. I thought it was a wound.
Oh, funny. I'm I'm gonna remove one of
You
the
lost the video game.
backings, and so 2 inches below the belly button. This is not exactly easy to do on camera. I'm just gonna apply it. So now that it is there, I'm just gonna rub it on, make sure that it's completely on. Because once this is on, do not take it off for 12 hours. That's what I currently recommend.
I heard of some people who kept it on for 5 days, but after the first day, it stopped being as effective as it was on the first day. Apparently, the body gets acclimated to it, and you need to give it a timeout where it isn't there.
Yeah. Th-
And
th-
then you put it on again every 12 hours. So it gets the full benefit by taking it on and off. 12 hours on, 12 hours off. It just makes scientific sense with acclimation. You're changing a life wave or a light reflection. The body puts out light, lots of infrared light. We're hot. We're a hot body,
yeah.
98.6 in the internal, cooler on the outside because of sweat and environment. But, we might even be hotter on the outside and be uncomfortably hot. If it's 100 degrees out, we're still cooler because we sweat. But if you were dry, your body temperature of heat prostration. So we like to keep pretty much at the similar temperature all the time. And that's light. Infrared light is heat. It's reflecting
Yeah.
off the patch, and the patch itself is modifying the light and reflecting it back into the body. And it creates an environment that they've tested for like 15 years and 70 patents. The science is sound, and it seems to work for a lot of people. This is not
Oh, yeah.
just an experiment from you. There's a whole lot of other people worldwide that are doing this. And we keep hearing stories over and over again about how it's affecting them, how it's working, how it's doing what it's doing. We hear about errors where they left it in the car, it overheated, and apparently activated the patches, and it didn't do anything. They go, why did it work? Well, they were heated in the car, at 160 degrees. The chemicals, they went inert, and it
Yeah.
didn't modify the light waves anymore the right way. So it didn't do anything. There's no drugs. It does not send a drug through the body. It's reflecting light, the light that comes from the body. So it's able to be used by Olympics. They're not getting a drug. They could look at it and say, "Oh, these people are patching." Well, there's no drugs involved, so it's legal for Olympics to use it. The
Yeah.
military were looking into it.
The whole reason why I'm doing this stream every day as I can is because I want to show the raw side of it. I want to show that I'm intentionally avoiding a script, and I'm showing uh, as I'm putting it on that I'm not swapping out a product or uh, making things up or reusing recorded segments in a recorded video, because some people can do that. In fact, I look at some shows, and yeah, they're using they're reusing past segments in their videos, and it's just frustrating to see that they're making the statement, but they're getting paid to do it. We're not. I'm not getting paid a cent to do any kind of advertisement on this product. I'm just reviewing it. And I want to see what would happen if there's a major change in my body that I would love to have. I would love to lose this. I would love to be able to go and my body not shake like a bowl full of jelly. I'm actually a little bit tired of the whole Santa Claus look. The only thing is, I look a lot younger.
Well,
Sorry,
there's your
Saint Nick,
dream.
but
Keep that
I don't
dream
mind
going.
rocking the beard a little bit, but I would rather not
Well,
be rocking the
you're not over
gut.
the hill yet. That may change. This is why I think you have a little Navajo in you. You may have a little bit of because of the beard, you know. But what you mentioned is true. We're not getting paid to do this. You could hold up a newspaper and say, "See, it's real. This is today's date. This is me live at this time of day. Here's a clock." And all these things could be fake, but I think the point is it's real. It's too far, too close. It's
No,
blurry. You get some sort of blur thing going when your hands are up close. It blurs. Yeah, it goes blurry right about. Not sure why. It,
I have
it's
background blur turned on, so
yeah, yeah, that's what's going on. Okay. The other thing you mentioned was that it does cost for something this beneficial to people. They're going to
yeah,
want to pay a lot of money for health care. Well, this is better than health care because the idea is that if you're doing things right health wise, this is going to help you get just that little bit much more that'll get you to where you need to go. It's never worked before. All the diets, all the exercises, and whatever else people come up with aren't working. Look at
yeah.
the people around you. They're overweight. You're not the only one. It's a major problem in the United States. We can help with this with LifeWave. But how do you make it so it doesn't cost so much? Because yeah,
Yeah,
it's expensive. There's a way to be free.
that's the other thing that actually concerns me. Not only do you need to follow uh, any ordinary diet, but when you're asked to lose weight and the processed foods and the high in fat and the sugary goodness foods are a lot cheaper than healthy foods, and you don't have the budget for the healthy foods. And I mean just a daily regular meal on a 3 day base on a three meals a day basis, and you're not able to afford that 3 regular meals a day, and it's a lot cheaper to make a highly processed plate of food than healthy food. That's sad.
We come from a different perspective. I was raised with mom cooking who had the idea that healthy food should cost less than processed food. So she made her own. I love pea soup. I mean, it used to be the thing to do on a Friday night, end of the work week, have some pea soup, you pull it out of the can and so forth. But she got this idea that I could have it any time of the week. I didn't have to wait till Friday, and she could make it herself. She would put it in a pressure cooker, and it was cooked briefly so it didn't take the color out. And of course, you don't need many things in it but peas, a little bit of salt, and it's delicious. Well, it clogs up the pressure cooker steam port. And when you do that, it blows up and it just spurts that little thing out, pops out like a bullet, really. I'm glad she didn't get hurt. But then it goes shooting up to the ceiling and it coats the ceiling with pea soup.
Oh!
And I love the pea soup so much. Bless her heart. She tried again. And again and again we got great pea soup and it was wonderful. And you could take it once you cooked it and freeze it and all sorts of things. And then I could warm it up in the microwave and it was every bit as good as that processed stuff because we didn't overdo it. It wasn't overcooked. And that's the problem with fresh. And it's cheaper. I mean, we could even grow peas in our own garden and I'd cook it like this. Or fresh. I still like cooked peas. It's just me. Some people eat them raw on their salad, which is a little bit, I don't know, I think it's over the top. But it's a legume, and what legumes are, you don't want to have that many legumes anyway. But she managed to do that another time too. Stuff happens. She gets to cooking stuff, and then she walked away. She cooks the way I cook. You know how I start something soup, you know, and it comes back and it's this crusty looking thing in the bottom of the pan I have to scrape out.
I've witnessed your cooking. I'm not gonna complain too much about it, but if you undercook some of your stuff, and then you can add more healthy stuff to it, and get I'm gonna say with ramen, instead of putting in that salt packet, that seasoning pack, well, technically you can, but I may recommend something a little bit different. If you get some of the broth mix and then get carrots, peas, broccoli, just throw in a whole bunch of vegetables and fruit, not only would your noodles taste better, you'd also get a little bit of the processed food, but more the fruits and vegetables. But even though the food pyramid doesn't call for a lot of fruits and vegetables, it's still somewhat of pretty close to a balanced soup.
I like what you're saying about noodle soup. My son in high school did a video with his friends, noodle soup at night, noodles at night. And if you know anything about the dormitory he was doing it in, they turned the power off at 10 o'clock, except in certain areas.
Oh.
Somebody is able to cook soup. You know, there's no gas stoves or whatever. They lock up the cooking areas, you know. The dean doesn't have to watch out for fires all night long because there's no power, there's no gas stove, you know, everything's locked up. So how do they get soup at night? Well, somebody had figured out a way, and they could smell it as you could just see him going down the hallway, totally nonverbal. This is a suitable video for international. And you know, there are certain cultures where noodles at night is like an integral part of their cultural diet. So it seems like it's really important. And as you pointed out, it is a processed food, so it's probably not that good. And you could eat all those things with it, like you said, and be healthier. Or in my case, I would probably leave out the noodles and the salt packet altogether and just eat the fresh. Fresh is best. I think people will tell you a fresh diet is best, it tastes best, and you don't have to cook the way I do.
I think they made it with hot water kettles,
Yeah.
or electric hot water kettles, or a rice cooker or something like that.
We'll have to have my daughter in here. She loves to talk
Yeah.
about how noodles at night happen. That was a fun video, and I think that we can get some buy-in from other people just for a
It-
nonverbal video.
Well,
Does she know that we're live streaming right now?
Probably.
I got an idea.
That's why
because,
she's not in the picture.
I got an idea about it because of the fact that when I was
Put a bag over your head and come over here and talk to us.
when I was in a dormitory at the boarding school, I did that too.
Yeah.
So I know about it.
Yeah, you know, you have to have some processed food. You just have to have it. You know, that snack in the middle of the night. I understand, you know, and I used to go for that candy bar. And I found out that even the smallest bite of it made a difference because I have low blood sugar.
The challenge was
So,
not fun, well, it's not gonna
if I
work.
splurge, you know, I will suffer. And yesterday I splurged, and today I'm kind of a sugar blues hangover, basically. There is no amount of caffeine that's going to get me past that. It's just not a good thing. And, you know, I'm just sort of going, wow, I really enjoyed that chocolate bar. But today, you know, I'd have to look ahead next time. I get a chocolate bar, I think, what will it be like the next day? Well, maybe I won't do it this time. And I may put it off for months. Teresa wants to show off another brand name for some odd reason. Is this mirrored to you like it is to me? It's actually the opposite. I mean, I raise my left hand, it's on the left side, just like a mirror. Weird.
Well, yeah, it's
He
kind
wants
of
to show
funny,
you something
but
else. This is a processed food that, you know, you really got to add it to other things. And we found it, you know, it's wonderful.
I'm mixing it
It's
together.
like
Veggie burger?
Impossible Burger. Veggie Burger is just, you know, it's wheat gluten and it's got some of that
Veggie
yeast
burger,
flavor to it.
a hamburger helper, and soy milk.
It was never the whole
Instead
meal, but it
of,
was the entree.
milk.
And there's a whole bunch of things and there's a culture of people that eat this and they're living longer than everybody
Oh,
else. I think it's because they're actually decreasing the amount of protein, and of course not the protein foods that are harmful, like pesticides and chemicals and nitrates. And then there's the little invaders that come along with it. When you kill an animal, it knows it's going to die, and that adrenaline's rushing through the food, and I call it eating fear. The Bible talks about people's hearts failing them for fear. They didn't have a name for adrenaline as a chemical back then, but if you eat something that's died, then it will have that fear in it, and your heart is then going to fail you for fear. Daniel, you're at a risk for this because of your obesity.
Well, there's actually situations where the animal doesn't know it's going to die.
Yes, and the chemicals that are in it that its blood is having to be cleaned from with its kidneys and its liver and so forth, those chemicals are still in the body. So you're eating all those chemicals, the nitrates, for instance, and they've now proven that nitrates cause a variety of different diseases. So that alone would be reason enough not to eat meat. Then the fat in it is not going to help somebody avoid diabetes. Diabetes may not be caused by eating too much sugar. I don't know if most people know that, but it doesn't help. And sugar is increasing calories, which would increase the weight.
Yeah.
That won't go into the cells may be blocked by some other chemical process than eating sugar. So sugar is probably not the cause.
There is one processed food that I would actually love to have, and I mean the homemade version of it. Apparently, the store processed version is, for some reason, not as good the last time I tried it, and that is dehydrated fruit.
Well, as long as you take it with a cup of water, I suppose you're fine, right? Has anything changed in the fruit from the dehydration process? There
Well,
may be some discoloration, so they add things to it, like what? Chemicals?
well,
Sulfur?
it's,
I love the taste of sulfur. It makes me cat.
sometimes they coat the dehydrated fruit in some type of preservative and then dehydrate it so it would last longer sealed in a bag while it's getting shipped off to the store,
Right.
like dehydrated banana chips.
I think you're missing out a lot there. I've had some good ones. My dad actually dehydrated food. We've got his dehydrator here. Guess what? We haven't used it. I prefer fresh. Although I saw what he did a lot of times, and one of the best ones is you make a puree. You put the puree on one of those plastic wraps. You just pour it on there and thinly, and then you slide the tray into the dehydrator and you let it run for a while, and it makes fruit leather. One of the major constituents of that would be something like applesauce or anything that will blend up pretty thin. Now, bananas, you got to cut them thin or in strips or some sort of shape, but pretty thin so that they will dry up. The thinner, the less time you have to spend in the dehydrator. Still going with a puree and a lot of different things because kids love the fruit leather. And if what you use most of is applesauce, it binds together pretty well. And you can, pull it off in strips or cut it or whatever. You're just cutting a plastic wrap at that point. And you can actually use the plastic wrap to roll it up so it doesn't stick to itself, And that way they don't get a big clogged ball of the fruit leather. It's not that hard to do, but it's a little bit more effort. And, it does smell good when it's drying. And you know when it's done because it stops smelling so much.
Mm-hmm.
Although, most people look in at it.
One,
It's just a hairdryer.
no, one thing that I would love to have again is dehydrated pineapple. Oh,
Wow.
pineapple is one of my addictions.
I had some the other day. It was canned, and it took a lot of the sourness out of it. It was, pineapple. It used to be really good. Now I eat it, and it makes my teeth kind of cringe. I don't know. It's just an acidic response to the pineapple. It's not the same as it used to be. I've been told the enzyme that helps to digest the pineapple, to begin it to digest in my mouth, is gone. I've gotten older, and I don't enjoy pineapple anymore. So I guess as you get older, certain enzymes in your mouth stop being produced, and food doesn't taste as good. So my age and older, people tend to eat less. And there are certain things that they've always tried to dehydrate, and they're wonderful. Pineapple, not so much, because some of those characteristics go when they dry it out. It's not as sour. Canned pineapple is more like your dried pineapple than it is for fresh because the sourness is gone. That's why I enjoy canned now. But your dried, I got some at the mall the other day, and they give out samples or whatever, and everything tastes the same. Has a little bit of the pineapple fiber, but then it tastes like the sugar they soaked it in when they dried it because it tastes like nothing. Very little sugar in the pineapple, so they add a lot of sugar to it. And that's the same thing with jellies. If you get a jelly at the store, they give it to you with the worst fruit because it's not worth selling the fruit. But they had to add sugar to it because it doesn't taste good. The best ones are the fruit spreads where it was just fruit, nothing but fruit, even if they concentrated or whatever to give it more flavor, because it was good fruit when they canned it or jarred it. It often comes in a jar. That's how you know the difference between really good fruit spread and that other stuff, jelly, where they added corn syrup or sugar cane or beet or even artificial sweeteners. That's just not good fruit. And to put that on bread is like a crime. I mean, I want peanut butter with just peanuts. And I want jelly with just the fruit in it. Why would I want something else? My mom used to do that to me too. And I blame her for a lot of this taste that I have for fresh. I would get a banana and peanut butter, and they would get mashed together and stuck on bread. Now that's dry, very dry. Peanut butter is dry and bananas are dry. So she would add a little milk to it to sort of loosen it up. And you get the right amount of loosening with the milk on there. Well, you didn't use water because, it just waters down. But you use milk on there and it binds with the peanut butter and the banana. And now you've got this great spread. And I said, well, Mom, it wasn't that sweet. Well, the banana was a little older or something, So she would add honey to it. I said, Mom, that was great. Peanut butter and honey. Wow, I didn't even care about the banana anymore. She goes, wow, that's easy. I've got less time, and I think we're out of bananas today. So she made me one with peanut butter and honey. Whoa, I was bouncing off the walls. The teachers couldn't keep up with me. There was somebody in the classroom who got themselves paddled because they were at the end of the line. They were slow. And the teacher caught them and took them off to the back room. And they came out red-faced, and I don't know. They probably got swatted back in the day when they could.
Did they ever catch you?
No, I was too fast. I was already fast. There was that one time when this kid and I got into a fight. And he was kind of a, jump in, swat you one, and then stand back, and I couldn't hit him. There was nowhere I was going to get anywhere close to him. The first thing he did was knock my glasses off. And I couldn't see at a distance, so I never knew where he was. And he would just step in there and swat me one and back out. And he's swatting with a closed fist because he was a mean kid. And I just got madder and madder and madder. And, finally, somebody grabbed us and took us out to the principal's office. I'm compliant. I go along. They had to grab him by the back of the shirt. And he's swinging at him while he's doing it. Finally, we got into the principal's office. The principal sets us down. We're looking at this big paddle. I mean, it was like 1.5 feet, 2 foot long. It's got holes in it.
Ooh.
I think it was more of a silent threat because he never got it off the wall. He never said he was going to do anything. And I don't know what this kid had been through before with the principal, but apparently he was a regular in there. And I'm just going, I don't know what happened. He knocked my glasses off. We were playing basketball. And he goes, well, he fouled me. He hit me or something. I go, I was going for a layup, and you were standing underneath the basket. When I came down, I landed on him. Well, that didn't work out. That didn't work out at all. I mean, you can't expect a non-contact sport like that if you're going to be doing stuff that's against the rules. And there's no referee. I mean, there was a girl who was like that. I must have fouled her all over the place. I wasn't even thinking about it. I was just getting the ball in the basket. She took offense. And I never want to play that girl again because when I came down, she had her knee up. Very uncomfortable.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was sitting at
So
the sideline for a
so
while. Yeah.
basically, she built a fence for you.
Oh yeah. She was blocking the basket by standing in the way. I was supposed to stand back 10 feet, because she could reach out. Yeah, these inner city kids, they're a little rougher, I guess. I wasn't used to that.
You,
I
you,
wasn't wanting to play with the girls anyway. She just joined in, and here I am trying to put a layup, and
you,
well, she's in the way.
you didn't get the joke.
Oh, I did. I'm ignoring it.
Oh,
So,
okay. You ignored the joke.
right.
So
So there's a lot
basically,
of things you can
she
spread
took
on
a
bread.
fence to it, and you landed on the fence.
That's right. And there was a crowd who were all about fresh and everything else, and they're talking about bread as being a bad thing. So how do you get bread without the yeast, which, maybe yeast causes some disease or something? There's a way. It's called flatbread. And, a lot of people get together these different kinds of breads with no yeast in it. Now it's healthier. And, well, if the only grain you eat is wheat, you're boring. Wheat actually has a bitterness to it. You have to add sugar to it or it tastes bad.
You
So
know,
if you get some of the other grains, it's delicious. No sugar added.
is that why Subway has this flatbread?
No. Well, maybe. I don't understand why they do anything there. They claim they're healthy, but they're giving you something with likely parasites. They lightly cook it, and maybe it's okay. They give you bread with more yeast, less whole wheat. Even the whole wheat has half white in it. You can tell. A whole wheat bread that is 100% whole wheat doesn't cook the same. It's heavy. But you have, so many other grains before you get to the weird one like quinoa. You've got oat, which makes a great bread, but they mix it with wheat. You've got rye, which tastes great without those little coriander seeds in it. They taste like licorice to me. I
Licorice?
don't like licorice. Yeah, I don't like licorice. Coriander seeds and licorice, there's something similar to it. It just never liked it. Don't know why. But red licorice is wonderful because it's just sweet and tastes like, I don't know, something. It's a
Something.
slow candy. I eat licorice. If I don't go through the whole pack, make it last a while, I don't get a sugar reaction from it because I'm stretching it out instead of all at once. That's a good thing. Anyway, so this crowd of people are all about being healthy. Now that you've got your flatbread with no yeast in it, which, by the way, Grandma made, showed us how to make it a couple of different ways. It was wonderful. They talk about getting peanut butter that hasn't separated from the oil. In the jar, you can buy it at the store, and the oil is like this much and this much peanut. It separates. Well, you're supposed to stir it all up, but I mean, why? Why don't you get peanuts that aren't separated from the oil? If they put it through a grinding process, much like the grinder they do for coffee, you're getting peanut and oil separation. That changes the way the oil is digested. It coats all of your food, not just the peanut, and it slows down digestion. All sorts of problems with digestion problems. So
I
these people are telling me how you do this better.
Is that organic and completely natural peanut butter? Because
It doesn't matter. Peanut butter is peanut butter. If you want to talk about organic versus not organic, or you want to talk about the sugar they add to peanut butter, because there's something wrong with it, or
Whistler?
oh yeah, here's the Twizzlers. These are frozen. This is going to take a
frozen
while.
Twizzlers?
Well, refrigerated. I think these are like, they got some sort of filling.
Yeah, it's just a strawberry smoothie.
Strawberry smoothie. Am I tempting you yet?
Oh. No, I'm
I got
not.
a new mustache. See?
I should have done that with the banana.
It smells pretty good. Yeah, you would have looked like you were smiling. No, this crowd goes on about, just grind up the nuts. You don't crush them to separate the oils out. Now, it's a powder at that point, but you mix with that some fruit juice. The easiest thing is apples. You got apple butter right there. Boom, done. It's delicious. It spreads on the bread, any bread. It's wonderful. You can mix grape juice with it, and you've got a grape peanut butter spread. Now, I'm talking about a spread, not just peanut butter and fruit. You could mix it with bananas. You get the right consistency to your taste. It's going to be kind of dry unless you add more juice.
Oh
You
yeah.
can get multiple juices. You can do all sorts of things with it, and it's a great spread. Now, you save this aside because peanuts like that will keep. You don't have to cook them. You don't have to can them. You just keep bugs out of it. put it in the same peanut butter jar, seal up the lid, just turn the lid on, and it'll keep a long time. So maybe you grind peanuts once a month. They'll keep.
Oh yeah.
Then the fruit juice, you know about putting that in the fridge. Fruit juice spoils, it ferments. Back in the day before refrigeration, people would always test it first. They'd open it up and they'd give it a sniff. If it smells alcoholic, you don't eat it. You wait till it turns into vinegar and put it on your salad, which, by the way, is a secondary biological process. After fermentation comes vinegar.
Secondary?
Yeah, your first one is fermentation. Yeasts get into it, and it causes it to release carbon dioxide and chemicals and so forth, and one of the chemicals is alcohol. Depends on the yeast. Some yeasts are more efficient than others, and it lends a different flavor to the wine.
That's whole grain wheat bread.
Okay.
And for some reason, it's not toasted. You're supposed to toast it.
Oh, toasting it's better?
Yeah, it's supposed to be toast. It's just
Okay.
bread.
Well, when they first baked it, that was the first toasting. So in a way, it is toast. When you're saying putting it in a toaster and toast it, that's twice baked, or twice toasted, if you will. The twice toasted actually removes a lot of the yeast that was in there. It's kept trapped in gases in the bubbles in the bread, and that yeast, like they say, could cause some aging process or some disease process. I don't know what it is. I'm not a doctor. So toasting it removes that, and the toast is, of course, more spreadable and better in many different ways. So I highly recommend toasting your bread. But why only one grain? 2 grains. Oatmeal. It makes wonderful bread. But there's another thing you can do with oatmeal that you probably don't think about doing with wheat. You can make patties out of it. Your oatmeal cereal thrown down onto a frying pan with or without the oil, you can shape it into a little a burger patty. Now, of course, most people are going to want to put some flavor in there, like garlic and onion, and maybe some pieces of celery, and a little tiny pieces of carrot, maybe some peas or whatever. It's a whole banquet right there. But it starts with a different grain, and all the other grains are like this. They're delicious. Wheat is just convenient. It's been pushed on us by the same industry that says you must eat corn. There is corn in so many places. I followed somebody who was allergic to corn. Where is corn? They don't even put it on the side of the package that there's corn in there coating the can because it's not in the food.
It's not that I forgot.
Well,
Didn't have time.
I've got another call.
What?
It's been nice, Daniel. I got to go take this other call. Let's do this again sometime. Focus on your food. Really enjoy every bit of it, every bite, every nuance, every delicious taste.
Oh yeah.
Smell it first.
Right,
It's
just take these
delicious.
for now. It's gonna be double.
Okay. Thank you.
Don't forget, okay?
Yeah, give
need to
yourself
It's gonna be
some
right
time
here,
to
so
enjoy
don't
it.
forget.
Oh, don't forget
when
it
you're
on
done
the Jada,
eating,
'cause last time
be
you forgot
done
it on
eating.
here.
I know. I'm live streaming too.
All right. Don't forget them.
What a sweet voice. When
Yeah,
we're done,
That was the LVN for this
Really?
facility. Well,
Okay.
One of them.
do what she said right away. She's the doctor
well,
in this case.
uh,
Representative.
While on live stream, why not?
Oh no, he's gonna choke and die. I could just imagine. Live stream, we watch this guy choke and die. We'll get banned from YouTube. Say something, Daniel. Prove to us you can still
Something.
talk. Okay, he's still alive. Okay, we're not banned. YouTube loves us. We're gonna get lots of hits, maybe some
You
do
really
you call
think
it?
I want to offend YouTube?
Um,
Sorry, I'm not.
I don't think you care. Do you care?
I'm not just. For some reason, he actually offended YouTube and started up Storyfire, but he didn't start up Storyfire to offend YouTube. He started up Storyfire for the creators, for the content creators. That's why he started
Okay.
it.
Okay. Tell me something. Do you care about yourself?
Well, yes, it's the reason why I started doing this as well.
Okay.
And I
Step 2.
I
Do you
wanted
care about
to.
somebody else? You care about me?
Well, yeah, it's the reason why I have you on the live streams too.
Okay, so do me a favor and lose the
to
weight.
get your preaching out there, because
Preaching.
yeah,
Ah,
you love
ah.
to preach. You love
Okay,
to
I was
preach.
reading Ecclesiastes. In my defense, I read Ecclesiastes in the Bible and I was thrilled.
Yeah.
I love that book. It's incredible. I really identify with Peter. 5,000 people all at once. I mean, wow, that's incredible stuff. And then James, the administrator, he's boring. He's sitting there, in
Yeah.
Jerusalem. And when it's time, poof, 80, 70 rolls around, all the Seventh-day Adventists left. All the people who were Methodists and Baptists and Christians, they left. The only people left were the Jews. And the Romans came in and wiped them out, and not one brick was left standing on another. Oh, wait, a lot of the Jews left too. I think they were actually part of the crowd.
You
know
know
where the
that
evangelists were? The evangelists are over in Rome. They're in Mesopotamia. They were getting teleported by God when they were talking to eunuchs. That's the story of Philip. That's a great story. You got to hear that one. Later.
Well, before you go, I have a couple things
I
left.
got to eat this in private. This is embarrassing.
You know that last action hero movie by Arnold Schwarzenegger, where
I will
he,
return. I will
Yeah.
be back. Who
You-
said
you-
it first?
you
Who
know,
said it first? Before Patton.
I do not know, but you know
Jesus
that
Christ.
you know
Jesus said he'll be back.
you know that
Everybody's been quoting Jesus ever since. I'm serious.
you know that scene where he answers the call from his wife, and he opens the drawer, and he pulls out a tape, and he has a tape player, and he sets the phone right next to the tape player, and walks off while the tape player is running.
Uh,
No,
that
funny.
is not the way to be married.
That is true. The funny thing is, I halfway done that to you a few times, but
I know when you're not listening.
but
I get on a roll. I get a little obsessive. I
Yeah.
can't quit. It's just thrilling to me. And in a way, I'm speaking to clarify my own thoughts. So you're doing me a favor. I don't
Yeah.
have a little voice in my head go running around. I have to come out the mouth. That's
but,
just me.
but here's
Some
the
people
thing.
have a voice in their heads.
I didn't use a recording. That was actually me.
I know. I know. And I think this is why I'm learning a new thing. I just read a text in the Bible that says brevity is a sign of godliness. So being brief is godly. I need to be brief.
Yeah.
It's going to take a real challenge since I need to spend more time in prayer, I guess, so I can clarify my thoughts.
Yeah, and I've been too brief. I need to be a little bit more talkative at most points.
Well, interesting. We're going to meet in the middle.
Yeah.
Not your middle. I think you'll be standing beside yourself with the big pants here, and you'll go, see how big my pants used to be.
Oh yeah,
And you won't just be sitting
I would
moving
love
fluffy.
to be able to do that. Retain
Okay.
one pair of my shorts while I'm wearing a little bit longer pair of shorts. I can go, woof. My shorts used to be this big. I'm
We
not
want a
going to say the
second
word.
pair of shorts on underneath. We want some other pants on too, okay? None of that, whatever you're thinking right now.
I don't do skinny jeans.
I don't care, as long as you got something on underneath the fat ones. I gotta go.
Okay, this is KF7. This is
KF7BOA.
This is Drytech 7, and if you want to say your name.
I'm Robert. I do have an FCC ID, but I'm not going to repeat it because I'm not an amateur.
I'm sorry, I'm also an amateur radio operator. No, I'm so used to doing that.
I'm trying to get you onto the professional side of things.
Yeah, please like, comment, subscribe. We would love to hear topics for discussions. Even though some people thought that it was somewhat prostitution, no. We're asking the community for stuff that they would like to hear, as well as what we're currently talking about.
You see, we don't even ignore the trolls. We mention you guys, even though you come in there and troll through. You're an inspiration to us. Keep doing the trolling. And thank you so much for your wonderful comments. We love you too. Bye.
Bye.